Hey, S. Patrick Brooks here from the Heavy Underground Farm Report. Today I have an interesting story. I have a story of a fan who wanted to put on a show, so that dude fucking went out and fucking created Grand Rapids Doomfest. So today on the show I got Jason Von Doome. Yeah! Hey y'all, this is S. Patrick Brooks from the Heavy Underground Farm Report, and I'm super stoked today. I have a guy I've been friends with on Facebook for a couple of years. This guy has amazing taste in music. He posts great music all the time. He's massively into the scene. He's a huge Clutch fan. Jason's a welder by trade, and he decided to do something pretty fucking awesome this year. Jason decided to put on his own show. So Jason, bud, you're a promoter now. You're a rock and roll promoter, buddy. Why don't you tell me how that feels right now, man?
It's pretty wild, man. To be honest, it all started, I'd always go to my buddy Shane's house before a concert, sit out in his garage in his man cave, and he recently turned 50. I'm 52, and he just recently turned 50, and it was weighing on him. And before a show, he brought a list of things that he wanted to accomplish or do since we're getting older, man, and he wants to leave a mark, and that's totally understandable. And I got it. And because we'd had many conversations about why hasn't our city done any kind of a fest, a Doom Fest, a heavy music fest. We got all the clubs. We got great clubs in Grand Rapids. And
you're situated in an amazing part of the country, right between Detroit and Chicago, if people don't know the geography. But sorry to interrupt, but go on. You're in an amazing rock and roll mecca of the United States.
We're kind of like an in-between point from Chicago and Detroit. So we don't get them all, but we get some good ones. And so when we were talking, Shane brought up, one of the things he wanted to try to accomplish was doing a Doom Fest, a music fest. And I was like, what do we have to fucking lose, man? He didn't really know the owner of the pyramid scheme, but he is an acquaintance.
So is that where it started, Jason? Did you guys get together and you're like, man, let's try to do this. Let's talk to the venue owner first. That's where you went? So tell me about how that went.
It was at first we went in and we had the idea. I did all the talking and I started telling him about it, and he immediately just started crushing our dreams. Like it was
people love to do that, right?
Yeah, it was like, what, you don't think we haven't thought of this before? They wanted us to know that we weren't the first ones to think of it. And
but so you didn't let that deter you.
No, absolutely not. And I saved the best part for last. And I said, hey, man, here's the bands. And I slid the sheet in front of him. And he starts looking down and he's like, man, Bog Wizard, we've been trying to get those guys. I mean, Choke Setter, they were here. They were great. Bonehawk, Jesus Christ.
Bonehawk.
Yeah.
Bonehawk.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. We're going to talk about
that. Absolutely. Because that's another story.
So at this point, he's got to be looking at your list like, well, shit, these guys are serious.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And when I told him, I said, I've already got the bands lined up, period. And
let's pause right there, Jason, because man, that's really want to talk to you about that. Tell me, how did you go about contacting the bands? Are these guys you knew, or through people that you knew, or just contacting people through Facebook?
I know all of them.
Cool.
I know at least one member from each band.
Awesome.
And that's all through Facebook, and it's all through the Jason Doome.
Right. And you go to a lot of shows and see a lot of people.
I try to get out as much as possible. And as soon as I threw the idea up on Facebook, I said, hey, we had a meeting with the Pyramid Scheme, and they're interested in doing Doomfest. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to do a fucking thing. All those bands reached out to me and were like, we're playing it right. We're playing it right. We're going to play it right.
Isn't that's, I just got back from Ripplefest. That's the amazing thing about this scene, right? Like the bands are fucking cool. Like,
yes,
they are you can interact with them. And so not to interrupt your story, but go on. So you're getting positive responses for these guys. And did you just kind of get word of mouth, like a word of like mouth agreement before you went to the club owner, or did you guys things are pretty informal in this setting.
These guys literally were like, all they wanted to do is play. And I reached out. I was talking to Eero from Busby Disc Chair. That's a really good friend of mine.
Yep.
And he was like, hey, he knows, he's been doing this for a really long time. And he was like, hey, man, just make sure that the bands at least get gas money. And when I told the pyramid scheme that, they were like, what? Just gas money? They were like, okay, that's when their attitude
and all of a sudden it was no financial burden for them. Right?
Exactly. And so with the combination of the quality of the bands,
it's amazing,
and then those bands basically volunteering their time to be a part of this, it was it's a fucking no-brainer for a club, really.
So you made it easy for them, and you attribute that to good networking, really, don't you?
Absolutely. And just, and my biggest thing is, and I think one of the reasons why these guys were willing to do this is because I put them up and advertise for them and support them as much as I can through Facebook.
Yeah, you
through
do.
all
You do a great job.
Thank you. And just putting them out there, and I do it because
Here we go.
Why not?
You do it because you love it, right?
Absolutely.
So that's why I do this, and that's why almost everybody in this scene does what they do. It's an amazing thing, man. It's very punk rock thing. It's cool to see guys like you and your friend Shane come together and just have an idea and be able to execute it. So I know you're excited about all these bands, but let's talk about all the bands really quick. Oh, really quick. You recently added Patrick Newman's band, Clean. Patrick's a friend of mine. Wow, dude, that's a really good band too. Like the lineup just gets stronger, right?
Arvis had to drop out. They were having issues with a drummer. And of course, it's always the drummer. And,
Jason, I believe you may do a little drumming. All right. Anyway,
moving along myself, so I understand. And and Clean had reached out when they found out, but it was already booked. And they're like, "Hey, man, we'd be down for next year for sure." And so they were the first. As soon as Arvis reached out, I went right to Clean.
That's cool.
There's a no-brainer. They had a really cool kind of space rock vibe to it, a little desert space rock vibe going, and that kind of equals. I mean, we've got such an eclectic,
you have like a really classic stoner desert doom type of lineup. You're really covering all the bases. It's not just, I think we like use these all-encompassing phrases like doom or stoner, but there's really subgenres in there. But there's something cool about all those bands that ties them together. And sometimes I think it's just merely how cool they are in a lot of ways,
No, absolutely. And I look at, and we chose Doomfest. Yeah, it's generic, but if
you have to say what it is.
Right. Well, if I were to tell you, hey, man, I'm having a metal fest, the first thing I'm thinking is Maiden or, I'm thinking metal.
Exactly.
But when you Doomfest, and Doom encompasses it kind of took over metal.
Yeah.
It encompasses a lot of different genres, and you can throw a lot of stuff in there. And that's how I looked at it. And that's why we were like, you know what, Doomfest, man, it tells you what it is.
All right, bud. Let's go through these bands really quick here. So tell me a little, just briefly, what you think of these bands and why you're excited they're going to be. And we'll start from the opener, Stranglehold. So how do you know these guys, and why'd you pick them? And tell me a little bit about them. I'm not familiar with Stranglehold.
Stranglehold. Excuse me, I'm getting over a chest cold.
And
smoking.
I don't want you to be alone.
No, thank you. No, Stranglehold. I went to a local brewery, about 10-minute walk from my apartment, and they had a little, like a metal fest, doom fest, kind of just 4 bands for the night, and they originally were called Helm's Deep, which
that sounds that's from Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah. And so they were the first band to play, and they fucking peeled my wig back, man. And
I love that.
this is at the egg stages of Doomfest before we knew shit. And I walked up to the drummer and I said, "Hey, man, my buddy and I are putting on this Doomfest in Grand Rapids, man. I think you guys would be a fucking perfect way to kick it off."
Yeah, what was their response to that?
They were like, "Absolutely, man, for sure."
That's
And
cool.
they're like, if I were to kind of pair them with somebody, they've got like a real high energy Fu Manchu vibe,
Oh, well,
like
that's excellent, man.
speed
I
up
love that stuff.
little Fu Manchu, but speed it up.
Yeah. All
And
right.
they're gonna be they're perfect to kick it off, man. They're gonna kick the
Perfect, man.
doors
Yeah,
open.
dude, that first band, like at Ripplefest, Shadow of Jupiter opened one
Yep,
day, and Formula
nice.
400 opened another day, and it was just, man, a band like that just like kicks everybody right in the ass and gets them
And
going.
that's
So great choice.
yes.
Tell me a little bit about Warhand. I'm not familiar with Warhand either,
Okay, now
Jason.
Warhand. Again, like most of these people, actually all of these people, except for Stranglehold, I've met through the Clutch page. You
Okay.
know, for our love for Clutch.
Great page. Hey, you guys, real quick, the
Yeah,
Clutch page on Facebook, join up with that. It's a great page. It's not
great
just
page.
Clutch, it's a lot of great rock and roll. Sorry, Jason, go ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. Warhand, they're local Grand Rapids boys.
Excellent.
And they are heavily fuzzed out stoner rock.
I
That's
know.
I did an album review on it for Third Coast Vinyl, and it's like the sound, like you could picture a fucking demon dude riding a horse
I love
breaking down the gates of hell, man, with the soundtrack of this fuzzed out,
it.
just super drudgy,
All
great
right. Well,
shit.
Warhand's on my must listen list. Then
They're
that's
on. They just put a new album out, Squaring the Circle. They've got two albums. They got an EP and then two full albums out.
yeah. Hey,
Um,
everybody that's listening to this, I'll try to get all these bands down in the
absolutely.
the description so you can follow these bands and check
Yeah.
them out. So Warhand sounds badass. Bog Wizard, we know, is a kick-ass band. Tell me
Yep.
a little bit about your relationship with Bog Wizard, Jason.
It's another one. I met Harlan, the drummer and singer, through Facebook,
Excellent.
and I've caught a couple of their shows, and they're D&D oriented doom, and I thought that was
I
fucking
love
great,
that.
man. You know, I
Probably
mean,
got a
it's
20-sided die laying around here somewhere. That's
right, dude,
awesome.
and their fucking merch, dude, is top. It's top because it's fucking D&D related, man.
That
It's
is
fuck.
super cool. Okay,
It is.
right.
It's really
Right. So
cool, and
do they lyrically get into the whole dungeon?
absolutely, dude. It's all D&D, man,
Dude, that's where,
and
hey,
they
if
are.
you guys don't know, that's where the name Caius came from. So D&D is deep in our stoner rock roots.
There we
So
go, man. Yeah,
yeah,
and they're probably the doomiest. I mean, they're doomy, man, and they're gonna bring the doom for sure.
cool. I am familiar with Busby Death Chair.
Yes.
Excellent band. They're also from your neck of the woods.
Yep. Detroit.
That's we have a mutual friend on Facebook who's in that band. He's a great guy. You have to be super excited to have your friend there.
Oh man.
Yeah, and
Oh.
let's not mention him by name so I don't screw up his name. I'm gonna let you mention his name.
Are we talking about Joseph or are we talking about Eero?
Eero, that's the
Eero.
guy.
Yeah.
No, he's a great dude. Sorry,
Oh
and
man,
I'm sure Joseph. I'm sure you're a great dude too.
Oh, yeah. No, man, Eero's fucking great, man. Another guy I met on the Clutch page, and they just recently, I don't know, God, I can't tell time anymore.
Dude, it's
They
okay.
just, yeah, they
We don't
recently
need
just put
to.
out. Yeah, they just recently put out an album not too long ago. I did a review for Third Coast Vinyl for that
Yeah, it's a
record as
great album.
well.
I am familiar with that album.
Fucking great,
Yeah.
man. And they're are they doomed? No. Are they stoner? No, but they're fucking great. And
Yeah, they're
they're
kick-ass
gonna
rock and roll is what they are, man.
yeah, they're gonna fucking rip the roof off the place, man. And
Yeah,
Eero's fucking, and you got Eero's vocals, man, that are what dragged me, man. And I was just like, from the gut, dude, just from the
love
belly
it.
of hell, and it's great.
I love that, man. Well, we talked. Let's talk about Choke Setter.
Yes.
Choke Setter. I mean, now we're moving into the top moving into the headliners here. So,
Yes, sir.
Choke Setter is a big score for you, buddy.
Oh,
I
huge.
mean, that's
Huge.
going to pull some people for you.
Yeah, they again, you know, Clutch Page and the internet, and just and I met Jesse Mall, the singer, and just a great guy. I've been really lucky, man. I've seen him. I go to a gearhead gathering down in Illinois in a
Okay.
barn, and Chokesetter is friends with, you know, all of us and the
Excellent.
people that put it on, Austin Bam, and Chokesetter's played twice, so I've gotten 2 private gigs by those guys,
That's so
and
cool.
just they've again peeled my wig back, man. You know, it was just like, holy shit. I was like, as soon as I thought, it's like, you guys, as soon as I heard it, I was like, you're the real deal, man. Like,
So,
you're the real deal.
Jason, I know you have an I'm going to break away from the show for just a
Yeah.
second here. You have an extensive vinyl collection.
Mhm.
You're a major collector. Your
Yes.
collection is, I'm certainly envious of it.
Thank you.
But how do you what's your main way of discovering new bands? Do you discover bands online, or do you discover a lot of the bands that you like live?
Live, basically online though, of course, you know,
Yeah.
and friends just recommending music
Yeah.
and just and scoping shit out, you know. It's kind of like it's 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 not so different from when we were younger, when, you know, like those of us that were into music,
Yeah.
we would read who the band thanked
Yeah.
to check out what bands they thanked and then go find
Absolutely.
those
That's
bands.
how I found my bands. Who are they thanking? Who are they thanking on their liner notes? Who's
Exactly.
recording on their album with them?
Yep.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
dude,
it's just
exactly.
kind of like that, but digitally now, you know.
Yeah, yeah. There's
But
nothing
yeah.
like discovering a band live, though, right?
Oh God, man. Oh well, that for me, slow motion. When I went to Desert Fest a couple of years ago in Berlin, they, I was like, they were young. They are young, and
Yeah,
they
album's
were
great. The new album's
simply
so good.
amazing, amazing.
You
And I
just saw him, right? You just saw,
saw them
dude. That new album is
Thursday.
a ripper, and you just got to see. Oh,
Yeah,
even just coming back from Desert Fest, I'm still envious. It's like, oh, damn. I mean,
yeah, oh,
I
yeah,
guess you can't
dude.
go to all the shows, but
They were incredible. I got to see them. Uh, you know, so it's been about 2.5, maybe 3 years now
okay.
in Berlin. And they were still fresh, and the leap that they made, their tightness, how tight they got, and their stage performance, you know, definitely much more loose. And the bass player, shout out to her, dude, because she is a badass, man. She rocks
Love
harder
that.
than any fucking dude out there. She's a
You know
badass.
what, man? The women in the scene are definitely a subject for another show because
Definitely.
we both, I know, are fans of some great bands that are not only fronted by female vocalists, but you know, just lots of great ladies in the scene. And I kind of like it's kind of nice in this scene where that's not doesn't seem to be as big of a deal. You know, it just seems to
No,
be that's just part of it. And it's
that's
fucking
part of
cool.
it, man.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely, dude. That's cool.
All right, bud. Let tell you what. Before we talk about Bonehawk,
Yeah.
I what what do you think the biggest challenge that you had setting this all up? What was it like? Was there any point where you're like, "Fuck it, maybe we just can't fucking do this shit"?
Um. Uh. To be honest, dude, dealing with the club, bro.
Okay, yeah,
It
fair
was,
enough. It
it
sounds like
was,
it.
it was, it was really hard, man. It was hard communicating. I tried to get a meeting set up for before the show, which we thought is very important.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Well, we got 17 gigs in a row. I don't think we can fit you guys in." And I'm like, what are you talking about, man? We have you know,
Did you
this is a
feel it
big
was
deal.
Jason? Did you feel that was a gatekeeping situation, maybe because you guys are new at doing this, or do you think it was a
I
ego type situation on the club
absolutely
management, or a
both of those.
combination? Yeah, both of those. Yeah.
Combination, man. Because whoa, these guys are pulling it off, and I've been doing all the promoting. The club, you know, they've put up the gig poster once on social media. I've been to his shows as recently as a week and a half ago. There, they've had the art for a month and a half, and the flyers still aren't up in the
Okay.
club.
All right. First of all, the poster needs to be up because it's fucking badass.
Yes,
It's fucking
Yoyada,
amazing. Who's the artist?
Stephen Yoyada.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking like I want that shit on my wall, badass. You
Dude,
know, it's
dude.
like that is good stuff. You know, just the club alone should be putting it up just because it looks sweet.
Fuck yeah, dude. That poster alone would draw people in.
Dude, I can't believe I can't go to your show. I'm like, damn it.
Dude, it would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens next year, man. Well, speaking of that, like, I don't want to move too far ahead. Actually, I'm not going to ask that question yet. Let's talk about Bonehawk really quick.
Yeah, man.
Man, this is really a massive score. So
Huge.
Bonehawk just announced that they're going to close John Gist's show in Las Vegas. They're doing the fourth night of that show, and John's show is one of the top festivals in our genre in the United States. And you have your closing band is the same band this guy got, so you must be absolutely like do you spend some time pinching yourself, bud, or I mean,
bro, it's bonkers, man, and it's a crazy story.
Yeah,
again,
I want to hear it.
It was right after the Rona. I want to say like around February, maybe January.
Okay.
And Bonehawk again played about a 10-minute walk from my house at a local bar, and I shit you not, there might have been 8 people there, and yeah, it was 8 people, and it was after the Rona.
Fair enough.
And it was cold as fuck.
Okay.
But I was like, fuck that. I'm going to see Bonehawk, man.
Dude, they're
I don't
so
give
good.
a fuck about the Rona. I don't care.
This is how I want to die. Yeah, I get it, man. No, I get it.
And so we, I had some friends come down and we went but it was cool because it gave us time to hang out with them, shoot the shit with them, get to know them a little bit. I bought merch and they rocked out just like there was fucking 10,000 people there still.
Yeah.
And so we got to talking and, just, once again, it was just me, promoting their stuff on Instagram and Facebook and, keeping in touch with them and saying, hey, how you guys doing?
Yeah, cool.
And then when it came down to it, I was really nervous to ask because for one, these guys, this is what they do for a living. This is their art.
Yep.
People get paid for their arts. Just because you have a friend that is tattoos doesn't mean you get a free tattoo. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And,
I do.
Yes. So I was really nervous in asking. So what I did was I laid that out all for him. I said, hey man, I know this is what you guys do. And you get paid to do what you do for your art. And I totally understand that. But, but this is, and I told them the whole story about me and Shane and everything. And they were so gracious, man. They didn't only accept, they were like, what can we do to help you with it? Let us know.
That's amazing.
We'd love to be a part of it. And I couldn't be any more humbled, man. I mean, that's just.
That is, you know what? Like, that kind of stuff happens on the scene, man. It's like people are like human beings, and man, those I don't know those guys. I met the singer briefly after they opened for Gnome here in Denver, and he was super gracious and just really nice guy in the 2 minutes that I talked to him. But I've never been big time by a band on this scene. I've never had anybody not have the time to say hi or listen to me tell them how much I love the band, and I think they really do appreciate it. And so that story just makes me so happy because they're doing, you're doing it because you love it, but they are doing it because they love it too. And there's we don't have that money thing driving everything, right?
Right. Well, and that's another big point. Like Shane and I aren't making any, we're hoping to recoup our money back for the t-shirts and the prints.
Dude,
other than that,
break even. I know, I get it. Yeah.
But other than that, we're not getting paid for this. We're not getting anything from the door. Yeah. We're doing it because we simply love the music. We love the scene. We love our hometown scene, and we want to make something of it.
Dude, it's an amazing story. It's like Jason, I've told you this before privately. You're part of the reason I do what I do.
Nice.
I saw what you did and I was like, you know what? I just wrote a review and it's like, nobody told me I couldn't. And then things just took off.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, bud. And so I appreciate you. You're an inspiration to, really quickly, man. I don't want to gloss over this because you had a really, you've had some health problems, serious, like a death, basically. So you've suffered from depression. Tell me, coming back from your heart attack, coming back from depression, which I know is a constant battle for those of us that have it. Tell me, how is this helping that? How is
man.
your involvement in the heavy underground scene helping your health and making your life a better life to live?
Well, one of the, I mean, music is a mainstay, and that's why I surround myself with vinyl, is because that helps with my depression.
Say,
I don't understand how people can just sit in their family room and sober and just sit there.
uh,
Like my mind goes too much and I think too much and my
yeah,
ADD and then my depression and then
yep.
it starts doing this. So that's why I do this, and
Yeah,
that's
dude, I
why,
can identify with that. Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. And, and the people in the scene and getting, the love that I get from people, especially in the clutch group and things like that, man, how can I be depressed?
That's awesome.
It just,
But we have so much to be happy for.
oh God,
We're
yes.
listening to the best music in the world. We have access to all of our favorite bands.
Yep.
You have the ability to put on a show. I get to talk to you about your show. Like it's like, dude, it's just the best thing, man. Do you have
It is.
anything that you want to talk about? Well, let me mention really quick, you guys.
Yeah.
If you are in the Michigan area, Chicago area, Detroit area,
Yep.
you're not too far away. You guys, that's on October 5th. What time? What time's Stranglehold
Doors
kicking
open at
off?
5, and I'm pretty sure the show starts at 6. I should
Fucking,
know
you know
that,
you're
but
going to be partying all night, man.
oh
This is
God,
a
yes.
beer drinking, pot smoking, maybe some
This
mushroom
is
taking part of the country,
Big
man.
Clouds, baby.
Like, go out, have a great time, listen to some amazing fucking
Amazing,
bands.
amazing.
Jason, I once again, but if you have anything else you want to say before I let you go, this is your shot.
Right on. Yeah, man. Yeah, this is gonna be a really special event, and it's gonna. There's a lot of really good people that I know that are gonna be there, that are great people. Like I've got uh the Goatleys. They're kind of the grandparents of the Clutch group. They're coming up, man. They're
Excellent.
supporting. They're rocking out. I got people coming from Jersey. We got people coming from all over, man. And
Dude, that's
it's
exciting.
gonna be a really special time, man. And
Man,
it's
that's awesome.
the bands can't wait. I know they're gonna bring their best game because
Yeah.
all of them are great fucking bands, and they're only gonna make each other better.
But that's how it works. But that's how the scene works, man. You're making people better. You're getting people excited. I'm fucking excited. I can't even be at your show, and I'm freaking thrilled,
I
man.
know, right?
Dude, you gonna be in Vegas for John's show?
If I get my Christmas bonus, which they torture us every year. Well, we don't know. But if I get my Christmas bonus, it's a possibility.
Perfect, man. I
It's a
hope you do. I
possibility.
hope you get out there. I'd love to
So
meet you
do
in
I.
person, man. Hey, Jason, I
Yeah.
really appreciate you taking time, but I'm gonna shut down the recording. Hey, you guys, Jason Von Doome, fucking Grand Rapids Doomfest. It's coming up this weekend, October 5th. If you're anywhere close, don't miss that shit. Support
Yep.
them any way you can. If you're not there,
It's
shout out
only
to the
18
bands.
bucks.
What the
18
fuck?
bucks.
Dude, that you're paying people to go to the show. I mean, come
Exactly.
on. Oh my God, you're amazing, dude. Hey, hang off. I'm going to stop the recording. Thanks again, Jason.
Right. Yeah.